Well, good morning, all you YouTubers. I've decided to put this video together because I was looking for something which shows you the nitty-gritties of how to put a radio show together. Now, there's lots of things out there about the equipment that you need, about setting up a radio station, but nothing that I could find actually that shows you what to do on screen on your computer about putting things together. So that's what this video is all about. Now, I do apologize because I am using Adobe Audition for this tutorial, but I'm pretty sure that it should be the same thing in everything from Audacity to whatever it is that you're using. As long as you are able to use a multi-track facility, then this is definitely for you. So as you can see, I've opened Adobe Audition and it opens with this big grey square, which I don't want. So I'm going to move up to the multi-track up here, not this one, but this one. Click on that and it's going to ask me for a name. I'm going to call this Test 20 and then click OK. And it will open the multi-track lanes for me and you'll see those. There they go. So I'm going to work on a few things first, and I usually begin my radio show with a jingle. Now, just a quick word about jingles. You can buy jingles. You can have your own jingles made. There's lots of places on the net that you can find them. Just talked about two of them. Just give me a second. I had one made by Music Radio Creations, and the guy that runs that is Mike Russell. Now, it cost me about £40 with VAT, but I also came across another company called Jingle Booth, and that's run by Paul Blundell, and his was almost the same. You couldn't tell the difference in quality, and his was only £4. So, you know, you can find bargains out there if you are prepared to go and look. Now, just while I'm on about Mike Russell recently set up a UK podcasters group, which you can find on Facebook. If you're not a member, I do ask you to please go and join it. It's a brilliant setup for anyone that's involved in either radio or podcasting. The members there collectively, and there's well over 100 in the group now, they've got loads of experience and loads of expertise and will help you out if you need any. So what I want to do is to drop a jingle here into my opening lane. So I'm just going to drop this down. I keep my jingles in here, which I've already opened. Now there's a few of them here. This jingle link, I'm going to come back to it in a little while. But for the time being, I want this one. So I click it so that the little tick appears. That means that I can now drag and drop. So I just click and hold, pull it down into Audition, and just pop it there at the top. Now I am using Screencast-O-Matic to make this tutorial, and I do apologize, it has been playing up, so I'm hoping that it behaves itself for this tutorial. So here is my jingle. I'm not going to let you listen to it just yet because there is another thing that I want to bring in. Now then, I came recently across another piece of kit, and this is a small external hard drive. It's by a company called Dual Beat, and on here there are 35,000 bits of music. They're what we call stingers, and these are the things that link pieces of music together, music that you can talk over so they become like music beds. And it's the weaving of all these things together that make your show stand out from the rest. They make them sound really professional. Now, it was expensive. It's currently on the market at $999. But at the moment, the company is selling it off at a bit of a bargain at $299, which equates to £185. I've only had it a few days. Because it was so expensive, the first thing I did was to transfer a copy of it onto another external hard drive, so that remains my master and untouched. So now I want to go to Dual Beat, which should be in here. This is the one. And on this now, I want to go to the MP3 versions. And I have had a look around. Now, I want to start my show with that kind of dramatic news and weather kind of music that you get, or music and sport that you get. So I'm just going to click on number 2. I have had a look around here, and I also going to use the first one. Now, all of these that I'm pointing to, the first 6 or 7 of these are all the same bit of music. One is 5 seconds, one is 10, one is 15, and so on. Now, the FU there, if I leave that on, you'll see that that's the full version when it comes up. There you go. That's the one that I want to use. So I click so I get the tick, click and hold, drag it down, and this time I'm going to pop it just at the end there. You can move these around. It's just loading. There we go. Now then, the one at the top, it's quite noisy. You can see the height of the peaks of the sound. Now it drops off just here. So, and this one starts off quiet, and then it bursts into a big or a loud piece there. And I want those two to overlap. So what I do is, this marker here in Adobe Audition, this one, this is the music. So as the music's playing, this moves along, and it's the music marker. But because it drops through all of this of the segments of your multi-mix, you can use this as a marker as well. So I pull that across to where I want it, which is about there. And I want this large bit here to match up with this red arrow. So I pull that across, and that will do. So let me just have a quick listen, or I'll let you have a quick listen to how that looks. I hope you can hear this.
Heavens Road FM,
the UK's fastest growing Catholic radio station.
So that was a pretty seamless jaunt from one into the other. So now the next thing that I want to do is to add a talky bit. Now then, I've got this loud little bit here. It fades off. Then there's another little bit of loud stuff here, and then a third bit here. Now what I want to do is to add my talky bit just here, and I'm going to record into this section. Now to do that in Audition, you just simply press the record button. Let me just turn the other mics down, okay, like that. And when you press this button at the bottom, the record button, it starts to record immediately. But I'll show you what happens in just a second. So here we go. Well, welcome all you YouTubers. In this episode, what I intend to do is to show the making of a radio show, how you put that radio show together on screen. Now, there is a huge issue going on here, and that is that this music above is playing way too loud for me. So what I'm going to do is to use Audition to drop the music, but do it quite nicely and quite subtly. So first of all, what I want to do is to put my marker back to where I want it, which is here. Now what you'll see is, as I started recording, you always get this 2-second lag. So I want this bit here, the beginning of the talkie bit, to start at the red line. So I pull that across till it meets the red line like that. That's perfect. And that will do. Now what I also want to do is to drop the sound in this one quite considerably. So what I do is I go up to the yellow line, which is the volume line. You can just see it there. And I'm going to click right in line with this here. I'm going to click, and you get a little yellow marker. And then I'm going to click just after the red line, which is there, and you get another little marker. And now I'm going to, if you click and hold on this second one and pull it down, it pulls the music down, but it does it in a gradual move from this line, from this point to this point. And I'm going to run it through the lower section of the stereo mix, which is this one here. And I found just by accident, really, or by experience, that that's perfect for me. Now, also what I want to do is to drop this music off completely by the end of this little talkie bit. So what I'm going to do is click again here, and click again here. Now this is quite a long bit, and I'm going to pull that right to the bottom, which means it'll go to 0. After this point, you'll hear no more music. Okay, so let's have a little listen to how that sounds. I must remember to keep turning my mic down.
Catholic radio station.
Well, welcome all you YouTubers. In this episode, what I intend to do is to show the making of a radio show, how you put that radio show together on screen. So the music's now faded out completely. Now, there's one other thing to do before I move on, and that is that I need to deal with this talky bit. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is just unrecord it, so clip that off, and then go back to this and double click, and it brings it up so that you can deal with it properly. Now, if you were really picky about this, that little blip there is a bit of room noise. I never usually bother with that, because by the time you've blended everything together, you'll not really hear any of the room noise at all. Now, the other thing is that whatever you do to this talky bit, you need to do it to all of them. You need to do exactly the same thing. That's just to keep the sound of it constant. So at the moment, the peaks and troughs here are really quite small, and I want to make that big and fat and juicy and lovely to listen to. It also kind of enhances my own voice. Excuse me. And the way to do that, I'm going to go up to the effects button, click that, down to amplitude and compression, down to the multiband compressor. Click on that. Now, this is what pops up. Now, if you go in here, there's a whole plethora of different pre-made or things, kinds of compressors, but I'm going to use the broadcast one. It's one that I like. It does make it very fat and very juicy, and just apply. So I tell you what, before I do that, I'll let you have a listen first of all to the raw file. Well, welcome all you YouTubers. In this episode, what I intend to do is to show the making of a radio. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is just to add the effect and let you listen to it again. So multiband compressor, just apply, and you'll see automatically the peaks and troughs get much fatter. There you go. So if I now have a quick listen to that. Well, welcome all you YouTubers. In this episode, what I intend to do. So I hope that you can hear the difference between the two. So I now go back up here to the multi-tracker, click on that, and it will put it back into where it was. So there we go. Now then, the next thing I want to do is to, at the end of this little talky bit, I want to put a little link piece in. So, and that will be between that first talky bit and the next little talky bit. So let's go back to the thing that I was talking about before, which is in here, and it's this link. Now, I'm doing this very quickly. The talky bits would normally be much longer than this, but this is just to show you how things work. So I've clicked so that I get the arrow, click and hold, drag it back down to Audition. I'm going to pop it up here. Actually, you can use these lanes, you know, you can use them all in different ways at different times. So what I'll do is I'll pop this one up to the top like this. Okay. Now, I want this bit of a jingle here, which starts, as you can see, quite loudly at the end of this as it begins to fade off. So just before the end of it, I now want to match that up with the loud bit there so it kicks in straight away. So let's have a quick listen. How you put that radio show together on screen.
You're listening online at Heaven's Road.
So that was, again, quite seamlessly. I kind of like that. So now at the end of this bit, I need to put another talky bit in. Now it finishes quite loudly. So I'm going to put another talky bit in. I'll use this lane, this track at this time. So record there. And off we go recording again, just by pressing the record button at the bottom. So I just need to switch that down, switch that up. Okay. Like that. So as you are beginning to see, you are able now to put things together fairly easily and fairly swiftly using Adobe Audition. And I'm hoping that by the time you get to the end of this tutorial, you will be able to see how to do it. Now you can make your show as short or as long as you like, but there is just one other thing that I want to show you, and that is how to correct getting rid of ums and also getting rid of mistakes. So I'll do that right now. So I now need to go back to looking at this. So I double click. So, and then first of all, what I'm going to do is effects, amplitude and compression, multiband compressor. It's on broadcast here, which is 101. Click apply, and it does exactly the same to this as it did to my last one, which makes it sound very, very similar and very consistent. Now then, in here there is a bit of a mistake that I made. You can make your show as short or as long as you like. Now then, the other thing that you can do is, hang on a second. But there is just one other thing. Here we go. There is just one other thing. So here is the mistake in this area, but it's in the middle of it. How do you sort that out? Well, you go down to the bottom here and you expand, or if you've got a roller on your mouse, you can use that to make these much fatter and much wider so that you've got much more control over them. So I know it's in here somewhere, so I'm just going to figure out where. There is just one other thing I want to show you, and that is how to correct getting... Actually, I needed to go back a bit further. Here we go. Or as long as you like. But there is just one other thing that I want. Right, so there it is. That's the mistake. Let me try that one. So I think it's... There is just one. I think it's about there. Whoops. So there it is. That's where the problem starts. So what I can now do is, I don't want that length there, so I'm going to half that by clicking and dragging. I think it's about there, I'd guess. Now, if you just listen to that, it will just play that white bit over and over again. So now I'm going to just delete that and have a listen again by pulling that back a little bit. Just one other thing that there is just one other thing. Now there is just one other. I've repeated myself there, so I need to get rid of there is just one other thing. Just one other. So it's just before. I think it's probably there that it starts. But there is just one. That's it. So I need to get rid of all of that because I know this now is, but there is just one other thing. So get rid of that. If I just drag that back a little bit. Or as long as you like. There is just one. And the mistake's gone. It's absolutely brilliant to do that. Just to get rid of one or two of the ums, you can do that as well. The thing I want to show you, and that is how to correct. Now, there's an See it? That's the one. And funnily enough, because I do say a lot, and you begin to recognise the actual, the look of the pattern. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Press delete. Okay. To show you, and that is how to correct. Getting rid of ums and also getting rid of mistakes. There's another you see it? So I just get rid of that. And you can just work you through. Because it's not live, you can do as many of this as you like and you can get rid of or put back in what you want. So that's just to show you how to do that. So if I now go back to multi-track, okay, and I now finish this little bit at the end here, but I actually want to carry on that to introduce a little bit of music. So now I'm going to do that. I just want to listen to what I finally said. Mistakes. So I'll do that right now. Right, okay. So the red line is where I want it. This is indicating record red, which is what I want. So I press this and I can carry on. So now that we've seen how to put something right, how to edit, I want to play a piece of music for you now. And what I do now is just go over to my music library and drag in a piece of music for you all to listen to. I hope you enjoy this. So I now need to, before I do anything else, I need to make this consistent with this by double clicking it. Effects, amplitude and compression, multiband compressor, and apply. Now, you will get used to this very, very quickly indeed. Once you start playing around with your system, you're doing the same thing really all the time. So back up to multiband. Now then, what happens is there's quite a gap here between the and I want to just drag one in, and you'll see it automatically mixes it for you. So if I just have a listen to mistakes, so I'll do that right now. So now that we've seen how I just want a fraction more of a gap, so I just pull it to the right there. That's better. Let me just have a listen now. Mistakes. So I'll do that right now. So now that that's perfect. I'm quite happy with that. So now what I need to do is to drag in a piece of music, and I need to slot that at the end here. Now then, so now what I do is I go to my music library, which I ought to have opened up because it takes a second or two to do this. Most people, I think, just keep it on YouTube or something similar, and once that loads, it's just like I've shown you before. It's just a matter of dragging and dropping. So here we are. I usually use the songs. So let's just go down and pick something. Oh, Easy Skanking by Bob Marley. So make it grey by clicking on it. Click and hold. Drag it down into Audition. I'm going to pop it there up against the red line. Doesn't matter at the moment that it's not exactly. I'll do that in a second. Okay, it's just winding itself up. There we are. Now, I just want to have a quick listen to Easy Skanking. I need to listen to the beginning of it. So there's quite a long intro. So what I can do is I can pop this over this last little noisy talky bit here. And using that volume button, like that. Okay. Get hold of this volume bit and pull it down. Okay. And what you'll get is a nice intro into that. So let's have a quick listen. Music for you all to listen to. I hope you enjoy this. Actually, that was a bit less. I'm going to pull that down even more. Push that across a little bit further. Pull that down even more. Just have a quick listen again. All to listen to. I hope you enjoy this. Much better. So that's it for now, really. I hope that you see you can just add layer after layer after layer and do whatever you like. And that's putting a radio show together using Adobe Audition. So I hope that you have a go. And one thing, just before I go, I do want to remind you about the UK Podcasters group on Facebook. Why not apply to join us? You'll be amazed at what goes on in the group and how much expertise there is. And we're really pushing for more members, so come and join us. Until next time, thanks for watching.